I'm Grace Gatto with Music Mastery, and in this video I will be performing the alto saxophone part of Colliding Visions by Balmages. And after the video, after I play, there will be a tutorial on how you too can master this piece for our next rehearsal. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 1. Three, two, three, 4, 2. I hope that performance was helpful to you. Now let's go through a couple tips and tricks to help you as we go through the piece phrase by phrase, so you're able to practice the piece a little bit easier. If you need more help with technique or something, don't be afraid to go to the fundamentals video in the lessons library. Okay, so I was looking at this piece before playing it, and the first thing that was brought to my attention, I was like, what is andante lirico? So I Googled it. Never be afraid to Google something. And so it kind of came around as slowly and lyrically. As we can see in the metronome marking, it says quarter note equals 60. So that gives us our starting tempo. So what we start out with is a 3/4 time signature, okay? So we go da da. So we go da 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 da. This slurs the tongue up to the slur and then retonguing. So that we'll see right at the very end of the piece too in measure 68, but we'll get to that shortly. So the next thing that I saw that I was like, was it's the little div period in measure 4. So there's two notes that are right next to each other connected by one stem. So what that means is in your section of the altos, a couple of you are going to play the top note, and the other couple of you will play the bottom note. So all you do is have to pick one, and so those two notes will be sounding at the same time. Okay, so in measure 5, we have slightly smaller notes, and they say H, N on top. So the little notes are cues of different instruments. So when you're in rehearsal, be sure to keep watching your piece and listen for the horns on that part. It'll help you follow along a lot better. But sometimes if you don't have horns in your band director could ask the altos to play the horn cues. So if you don't have horns, you'll play that. But if you guys do and you don't play the cues, go ahead and count the rest, which are those little upside down hats on the top of the measures. So when you come in after counting those 4 measures of rest, you're coming in on measure 9, okay? And pretty much that next section up until measure 16 is similar to measure 1 through 8, okay? Then right at 17, we start a new tempo. That is 158, so Allegro meaning like a brisk tempo. So be sure you're watching your director on that part because it's coming quick. Okay, and then when we get to the 8th notes on D, we're at a mezzo piano, and it looks really kind of boring. So what you'll want to do is add a little bit of direction to the notes. So instead of just playing da 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 da, what we're gonna do is da 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 da. They're all gonna be connected instead of sitting on each note. Okay, and then we're counting 4 measures of rest at 23. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1. And then we come in on 2. So this melody starting right at 27 is the same thing that we see here in 39. So if you know what's happening in 27, you got it down in 39 as well as in 31. So that's pretty cool. And then let's move on to 35, measure 35. We have the accents, the little open triangles right on top of those notes. So what we're going to do is add a little emphasis to the note. So what I did was I added a little bit more air and a little bit of, I just emphasized the note. Let me show you. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's almost like the note has a skip in its step almost. And so then again at 39 we're coming in on beat 2. So you go 1 bum 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 ba ba bum bum ba ba bum 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 bum, and then we have the accent again. Oh, but in measure 49 we have this ba-da-da-da-da. It kind of is foreshadowing what we're going to have in 67 when we go back to the Andante Lirico. So how that sounds, we're just going to make it nice and smooth and connected. But make sure you use a little bit more air in this line because we have a little bit bigger intervals. So we want them to kind of sound the same. So bridge the gap between those intervals with more air. 1, 2, 3. So basically as you go down, you're going to increase your air as well as when you go back up. So that'll make it a lot more easier for the notes to come out. Okay, in measure 59, after we've counted 4 measures of rest, we come again on beat 2. This is the second time that we have a forte. So it's kind of really important. What these 3 notes act as into measure 60 are kind of like 3 pickup notes into the G. because the G is what I like to call like a money note, which is what the audience is listening for. Because all of the other melodies that we've had in measure 27, 31, and 39 start on that G. So what's happening in 59 is a lead in to measure 60. So starting in 59, 1, 2, 3, 4. So those three notes set up the G, which is cool. And then we have the same thing on the C's, the accented C's in measure 62 up into that G in 63. Okay, and then here's another quick change, so make sure you're watching and paying attention, is right in 67, we switch back to a 3/4 time signature at quarter note equals 60. So make sure you're watching for that one. So we go in measure 66, we're going 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. So make sure you're subdividing in your head in the 67, because when we get in 68, those eighth notes are kind of going to seem a lot slower than the eighth notes in 60. So then we have 3 measures of rest in 70, and then we have this like a diamond shape dotted half note. This kind of what the note is using as is like, we're not putting that much emphasis or weight on the note, especially since it's fading to nothing. So as you can hear in my performance of it, is when I get to measure that second measure of this tied dotted half note, is I'm going to keep the air going even as the sound of my saxophone escapes. So starting 2 before the end, so 1, 2, right at the mezzo piano. So that effect kind of gives the audience as to, when did the note actually stop? So that fade to nothing is literally like you're going to nothing and taking a lot of time because we have that fermata. So be sure to watch your band director as when they cut off, because you're going to be needing to be close to nothing once they cut it off, okay? So that's it, guys. I hope this video was really helpful to you and that you're enjoying these videos. Make sure that you continue to encourage other members of your ensemble to join MusicMastery.band so that everyone in your section can have their parts just as mastered as you for every rehearsal. So we're looking forward to helping you master more of your band pieces. So make sure that you remember you have 3 requests per month as a member, and we'll see you soon.